Smash that limiter!
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Welcome to episode 51. It's been 2 weeks, but that's because we've been incredibly busy, haven't we, Splivy?
Yes, we have. I've been more busy than I'd like to be.
Yeah, so the week before that, I was unwell. And last week, I was doing training, firefighting training. So that took all weekend. So that's why we didn't end up doing it, which was crazy.
You're no longer elite hunter. You are firefighter.
And yeah, although I've still got a lot to learn. I've just done the basics, which was always fun. So I got to hold some hoses and learn
Hell yeah.
how to wrap them up and learn how to do burnover, which I hope I never have to experience that, because that would be pretty scary, to be honest, doing a burnover. But that's the reason why they train us on doing them. So yeah, so I joined the CFS and my local brigade, and I've been on 2 call outs already. The night that I finished my training on, which was a Sunday night, I literally got called out to a small grass fire that night, so I went straight out. It was contained pretty quickly. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was cool. I got to ride on the back of the truck and sort of basically turn it into a lake, so then that way the fire wouldn't start again, and got to see the thermal imaging camera, which is pretty cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
How does that compare to armor?
Way better, because the thermal imaging camera kind of looks like you're looking through the eyes of the predator.
Oh, that kind of thermal imaging.
So it's like blues and whites and reds and green, deep purples and stuff like that. Yeah, nah, it's really, really good, and it will tell you what temperature it is as well.
Oh,
so it's really, really it's big. It's like the screen's like that big on it, and it's really good for showing hot spots. So if something's at a certain temperature that it could reignite, you just douse that area. And there was this little stump that we pulled out of the ground, and there was a hole, and we filled that up with water, and we literally just rolled the stump in there, so that way it won't reignite. It looked like that fire was someone had left a campfire or something unattended or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it kind of looked like. But yeah, it was interesting. And then just the other night, got caught out to a road crash, which didn't end up going to, because the police had already had the situation controlled, so they told us that don't worry about it. So we just turned around and went back. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, now I've got a pager system. So when a pager comes out and I'm available, I basically drive straight down to the station, get my gear, jump in the truck, and head out, basically. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I'm gonna do as much training as possible and learn as much as I can from it. I think
fair enough.
I think I really will enjoy this new adventure that I've sort of stumbled upon.
Yeah.
I never joined it back when I was in the city, in the suburbs, because it's not the same as it is out here, put it that way.
Is there anything in particular you're excited for?
Just learning things. I think that's really it. Yeah, just learning different things. It will help me learn to not freeze so much, because there's been a couple of situations where I kind of sort of get a bit. It depends. Medical emergencies, I'm pretty good at just reacting straight away. When someone's having a medical emergency, I'll start first aid straight away. I don't second guess. But I've had a lot, and I'm in a lot of training in medical first aid since I was a kid. From doing surf life saving, and then Air Force cadets, and then through workplace stuff as well. So first aid is something I've always just I know what I'm doing, so I jump straight on. But anything else high stress situations, things that happen real quick, I kind of, because I don't know what to do, I kind of freeze a little bit and take a little bit longer than I would like to sort of assess the situation and think about it. So I think that would be really good for me to learn to sort of get better at doing that.
Yeah,
Which
you'll
is
just
really
you'll just
weird.
naturally get
Yeah,
better as you have more
yeah,
experience in
yeah.
that area.
Because like
Similar, not too dissimilar to how you've had all this medical experience, and therefore you're able to take action faster.
yeah, exactly. Like and like in Air Force cadets and stuff like that, you know, we're doing training of engagement and all that sort of stuff, like warfare shit. And like that I was good at as well. Like if we were on patrol and um the targets suddenly became under fire. Like I know the procedures, and even to this day, like I know those procedures to do that. It's not compared to the military. Don't get me wrong. This was over a decade ago, and you know it was purely for training purposes and just sort of an idea of what the military would be like. It's not the real thing by any means, but it was still the same procedures and handbooks that they were sort of taught to an extent. Obviously, it was a little bit outdated and whatnot, but yeah, that was good with. And like when I've played paintball laser skirmish, I've been really good at being shot at.
Yeah,
Yeah, my life is not on the line, but I still don't like getting
yeah,
shot. So
a little bit different.
yeah, I still was proud. It wasn't until the last time we went out paintballing that I'd never been shot before. So that was kind of a cool little title to have. Played total
Being
of 8.
shot.
Yeah. Well, so I've played total of 8 paintball games.
Yeah.
And the last one, which was my birthday, and I took my paintball gun out, that was the only time I've been shot in that one. And it's because I was obviously a lot older and slower moving. But when I was younger, I had never been shot.
All right.
There was even one game where like I was the last one on my team left holding down a hill and I wiped out the entire enemy team. So that was cool. But now, no,
they
I couldn't do
I had
that
a
anymore.
similar sort of experience when I was playing laser tag as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, laser tag's fun.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast with laser tag.
The only problem I have with laser tag is sometimes the lasers will bounce off the walls and get you, which is really annoying when it happens.
That's really funny, actually.
Yeah, it's like I was just like hiding, and I heard someone walking like a couple like corridors away. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking get them, and then I hear them fire at someone else, and then next minute I get hit. I'm like looking around, and there's no one there, but I got hit. And I'm
just
like,
start shooting sporadically.
So like it must have fucking rebounded around, and like there is mines that they do have in that one where like if you're unlucky, there's these little square like puck things in the like top corner of like the corridors.
Yeah.
And if they're green, they're okay, but if they're red, they're live and they can just randomly detonate. And when they detonate, anybody in that vicinity is dead. It doesn't matter who you are. It's a game environment.
Right.
Yeah. So they do have them there, but there was none where I was. So I asked the ref. I was like, I got shot, but no one was there. He's like, oh yeah, sometimes the lasers will bounce around the corners and like get you because it's an RFI sensor or something like that. And I'm like, oh okay, that really sucks. He's like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, well, how do you stop that? And he says, well, truth be told, I cover the sensors up when I'm not around anyone. And I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, that worked. But you're not allowed to, those thing. But anyway. But yeah, laser tag's fun. I wish airsoft was a thing in Australia. I wish our government would just
yeah, that would be fucking awesome. I'd probably play airsoft every friggin' weekend
Yeah,
if airsoft was legal in Australia.
So much more fun than paintball, I think. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
I reckon the reason why, and no, it's not got anything to do with the pain because airsoft still hurts. It's the mess. Paintball's fucking messy. Where airsoft, you can just wear your normal clothes and go out. Like you don't have to wear special clothes to do airsoft. As long as you have eye protection, it doesn't
Eye protection
matter.
and neck protection.
Yeah. Well, like a jumper would be more than enough to protect your neck. If you
Yeah.
if you did this, and then you wear your helmet, you'll be fine. Or what I would do is I'd wear balaclava, because I've got several balaclavas that I go out paintballing with, and I'd wear the balaclava, and one of them's got the eye piece like that, and
Yeah.
I wear that underneath because it's real thick in the neck area for that reason. So that one's an actual combat balaclava as well. So it's made, this bit here is like made out of a thicker material, not like clever. It's just thicker material to trap heat in, but also if you're like in thick scrub, leaves and
Yeah.
sticks can't get in and go for your neck or anything like that to scratch you. So it's a good one, but yeah, that's what I use when I go paintballing. But where I am now, paintballing is not going to be an option. There is no paintballing facilities. The only paintballing I can do out here is if I was to buy a whole heap of paintballs and go on private property and share my gun around and shoot each other. It's literally the only paintballing I can do. So, which would be fun, but also not so fun because getting shot by my rifle kind of would really suck. It's fun shooting others with it, but yeah. I remember my work colleague, I fucking nailed him right, because the mask the mask that everyone else wears covers like here. Mine's a full head mask, so it's fine for me. But when you go to the facilities, the ones they give you are only face masks, so your back of the head and all that's exposed. And I got him right there twice. Right, because he was laying down the trench and I fucking bang straight on the top of his head, and he's just like, oh. Because my paintball gun's super long, so it has a lot of range on it as well. So, but yeah, it's heavy though. You fucking feel it after you're running around for a bit.
The mask
Nah,
or the whole lot.
The gun
The gun,
weighs.
yeah, because it's got that
like,
big CO2 canister on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do have the kit to be able to have the CO2 canister in a backpack, so then that way it's not on the gun.
Yeah.
And it's got a hose and all that sort of stuff to hook up with it. My gun has like everything except for an electronic trigger, which I do want one day. The reason I would like the electronic trigger is because it is semi-automatic at the moment, but it's got a butterfly switch, so every time I release it fires as well.
Yeah.
So pull down fire, release, pull down fire. It's you can change it as well, so then that way it doesn't do that. So you just flick a switch and then it turns that off. So then that way, if you hold down the trigger and you flick that switch and when you release it, it won't fire again. Generally, I don't care because I usually carry that much ammo anyway that it doesn't matter if I waste one ball.
Yeah.
But an electronic trigger would be way better because then that way I can hold my trigger down and it's fully automatic. So, because I would like a fully automatic paintball gun.
That'd be really
way more
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting to own as well, because
Yeah.
I have seen that trick where they sort of tap the trigger with both their fingers. It looks really weird.
Yeah.
To make it automatic in a sense.
Well, I can shoot it almost automatic with how fast I can shoot mine. Because like I said, it's got a specialized trigger in it anyway.
Yeah.
But also I can change barrel lengths and stuff like that. Like I've got the big long barrel and then I've also got the short barrel. The long barrel's it's long. But like I said, I can go the distance with it. So because I can easily hit someone 100 meters with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not when it's obviously it's wind dependent, but it would easily be able to make it without any issues. But if I use it at their settings, because they have on a lot of playing fields, they have a certain PSI requirements. When I turn it down to their requirements, it wouldn't make 100 meters, but it'll make 50 easily.
Yeah.
But when I ramp up the settings to the point that I can get 100 meters away, it's pretty good. But I generally wouldn't want it like that though, because you use more gas. And also like close quarters, I wouldn't shoot anybody with it either. Like I wouldn't want
That
to.
would that would suck.
That would
You'd almost feel
really,
like you were in the middle of a riot at that point.
really fucking hurt them. Yeah. I would have to be incredibly careful with shot placement. And because like if I say for example, if I was to accidentally hit at that PSI, if I was to hit them in the throat or something like that, it would wind them like real badly and bruise their throat up pretty badly. Even normal paintball guns can do that, but usually because your throat's pretty soft, sometimes they'll just bounce off and it still hurts. But like it's that PSI would fucking really hurt.
Yeah.
It's also enough to shatter windows at close range as well. So, it wouldn't do damage to you like permanent damage, but it would definitely leave pretty nasty welts for sure. And just obviously no headshots. Center of mass shots only or thighs. And
Yeah, the
definitely
thighs
stay
hurt
the
a
fuck
lot.
away from the crutch. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to shoot a woman in the boobs with it either. So I'd probably aim stomach area, I reckon, or shoulders. But
Just aim for the shoulder. Aim for the left shoulder
Yeah.
every
Well,
single time.
the good thing about that PSI as well, you're accurate. It shoots relatively straight, so so you can get your target. With the PSI that you set at for like paintball, paint like their requirements, it kind of goes a bit like that all over the place.
Yeah.
But mine still like is straight, because I have the long barrel. Because the paintball spends more time being pushed by the gas than the other paintball guns that they have, which have a short barrel.
Mm.
So so it has a little bit more oomph as it comes out because it's being pushed for longer as it's coming out. So yeah, but I would also like to make mine compressed air as well, which is
really?
0 modifications required for mine as well. So I'll just basically start using compressed air instead of CO2 in the cylinders.
You're right.
Yeah.
Just take a scuba gear to the next paintball game.
Yeah, well, I don't even need to do that because I can use the CFS compressed air machine.
Yeah.
Because their air tanks that they use for their BA gear, which don't ask me what the BA stands for, I can't remember. I didn't do that course yet. I want to do it. That's where like you wear environmental suits and stuff like that, and you have a different color outfits, like a gold outfit instead. It's a Cat 3, and that's for chemicals, house fires, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it's not hazmat stuff, but it's rated to be able to handle low category hazmat, but it's mainly for house fires. Urban. You have to have special training to do that stuff because you got to have a breathing apparatus and all that shit. But anyway, they use a compressed air machine to fill those tanks for that equipment. And I could use that to fill my gas bottle really fast, nicely.
Like, really, really nicely. I get on your
Really
hands
nicely.
and knees. Please, sir, can I go shoot some people?
Just go stare at house fires, heaps of bystanders. And like the bystanders are just not listening to the police, and the police are like, I don't know what to do, and I'm just like, crowd control. I certainly start listening once I get shot with paintball guns. Oh my god, it's so funny. I don't get it. Why don't police use paintball guns as crowd control? Because then it shows other police officers that that person's being fucking in trouble with them because they have paint
true.
all on them. Like,
I don't know. It's probably a law.
I don't know. They shoot you with beanbag guns, so I don't think there'd be much of a law.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Those
Yeah.
things would.
They would
Why
fucking hurt a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
They
I
got
don't know.
bullet paper
I know
gun.
what we're gonna do about this. I mean, I wonder who like the first police officer who came up with this idea. It's like we got a lot of people, and not enough police officers. What do we do? I don't know. Let's put this beanbag into this cannon and shoot it at the crowd.
You would, yeah.
And then somebody said, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea."
Well, I don't know. I reckon a beanbag gun's a lot more effective than a taser is. So
Well, you have to get up to that person, and
yeah, well,
eh,
like you have a bit of a distance with the tasers because they are a gun. They do shoot the barbs and stuff, but I don't know. Like if it gets you clothes and gets stuck on the clothes, or like the person's off their face on drugs, or they're a big person. Tasers aren't very effective. They're not that effective. I reckon they're probably not even 50% effective.
right.
I reckon the only time they're actually effective to the point where you incapacitate is if you actually physically make contact with the skin with the actual taser itself in your hand. Because then you get the full voltage in it. But on a bar, when someone's moving around, it's not getting full contact all the time. So I just don't see, like, pepper spray would be more effective than tasers because pepper spray at least blinds them so they can't see where they're going. So you can get yourself out of harm's way, where a taser, they're fucking gunning for you, and if it doesn't land completely, then your only fallback options are, well, yourself.
Yeah.
and either a gun or, like, I don't know, your baton or something, I don't know. But definitely tasers aren't that effective. Not really. Beanbag gun though, fucking hope that's effective. You shoot some cunt in the knees with that.
I don't think shooting him in the knees would be as effective as just going straight for
I
their
don't know.
abdomen.
I reckon shooting in the knees would break the knee if you hit him. Definitely.
Yeah, let's
That's a lot
just
of
avoid
force.
that
Yeah.
altogether.
Well, it really depends, like, because obviously a lot of, like, if you go center mass, then yeah, that's gonna wind them as well, but whatnot. But you shoot them in the knee or shoot anywhere on their body, like even their hands would hurt. Like if you were to be lucky and unlucky at the same time, I guess you could put it, and you shoot them. Say for example, they got like a knife in their hand, they're coming at you, and you got unlucky with your shot placement, but lucky that you hit them in the hand. It will definitely throw the knife out because there'll be no way they could stay holding onto that knife if you got a cool shot like that. But yeah, it's crazy. And then you got like the what do the Americans use on their SWAT? They have like that crowd control thing. It's a big water cannon on the top of an armored vehicle. Have you seen them?
It's just the water cannon. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's just a water cannon. Yeah, that's crazy. That's why I would never ever want to go anywhere near riots. Because even if you're just a poor bloke walking past, you're hit by one of these many things, you're gonna have a bad day. So
Yeah, I would prefer to just stay away from those sorts of riots as well.
I don't even like going to protests. I think protests are a waste of time.
I went to one protest because a bunch of I went to one protest many years ago.
Yeah.
And it was mostly because I just went to my friend's house just to hang out, and then they're all
No.
like, "Yeah, we're going to a protest. You want to come?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" And we went down to down to the coast where there was a protest, and we just walked around. It was pretty chill actually.
Yeah, the one I went to was my mum made me go to it because I actually disagreed with her on the topic, but it was just a live export protest. It was like at
Oh,
the
yeah.
docks where they export live animals.
Yeah.
The reason why I disagree, it's not that I think that it's not cruel or anything like that, and it is. But the reason why I disagree with what they're doing is they're at the end of the day, you can ban live export, but then you got to sort of come up with a way for the farmers and people to come up with an income to like still make the same money that they lose.
The only rebuttal to that one is
Yeah.
that it's not necessarily because the people who are concerned about live exports aren't really concerned about farmers' income. So it's sort of like even if you did come up with if you did come up with a solution, the same people you're trying to sort of
That is true.
absolve aren't gonna listen to you.
Yeah, and this is the biggest problem I have at protesting is a lot of the people that organize the protests generally will whinge and bitch about something, but never come up with solutions. And then also protests themselves do absolutely nothing. They're a waste of time and resources because no one watches, no one gives a shit, and most of the time people just either get more annoyed with you because you're annoying them going about their day, or two, people just think you're crazy. So,
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Like, my idea of change and protesting is lobbying, which is very different to protesting. And that is actually getting governments to side with you, coming up with solutions and ideas that would, because money talks. And if you go to all these farmers that are live exporting and go, hey, I have the solution that could make you just as much money, if not more, if you go about doing this. And two, on an ethical standpoint, this is better. Because at the end of the day, like, a lot of farmers, people think farmers are heartless, but they do care about the animals that they raise. I mean, they literally invest in them. So if they could find a better ulterior that is easy on them to then get their money, plus also gives them a bit of peace of mind on the stress of just the logistics sides of things, because live export is logistically a nightmare as well. Because, you know, they got to organize trucks to move these animals from point A to point B. They have to stop X amount of times to make sure they get water and food. Like, it's actually, like, there's a lot of logistics involved in live export as well. So it's not as easy as, say, what I would prefer, which would be just meat export, where we just export frozen meat. You know, they go to a butcher that's local and they get slaughtered here, and then they get shipped out overseas in frozen packages or refrigerated packages. Either way, you know, that's a lot easier to deal with logistically, and usually the farmers have nothing to do with it once it goes to the abattoir. Where live export, sometimes a lot of the farmers, they have to organize the logistics. They have to get the ship to the dock, the animals to the dock, and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, point is lobbying is more effective in change than protesting, because the government doesn't care about you. They care about money. So if you come up with money solutions with any sort of dilemma of any sort of country sort of dilemma, they're more likely going to make change that way than they would be just having you jump up and down with a sign.
Yeah, I also feel like there's a negative connotation when it comes to lobbying. I mean, personally, I would observe those same connotations, just because I don't, just mostly because from there's been a lot of decisions made in lobbying that's sort of gone against the general public's best interest.
Yeah, but that's because usually lobbying is anything political. So it doesn't matter who or what does it, because generally people who actually want to make change, like in that sense, that for the people, they don't lobby. But what they do is they put their faith into some politician that will then lobby something completely different and then twist it to make it look like they're fighting for them, but they're actually fighting something completely different.
Right.
Versus you, the organization that's upset, lobbying yourself. So then you actually get your point across instead of relying on a politician who says that he's relying on, he's standing up for you, but in reality he's just using you to get your votes. So I think that's where lobbying negativity comes into it, is because a lot of people that lobby are usually political parties instead of like the people itself or the people that are upset themselves. Because like I said, most people that organize these protests, they don't lobby. They do nothing. They might send emails to their MPs and stuff like that, but they don't, like, they never sit down and have meetings or anything like that. A lot of them say they do, but they don't. Or they'll sit down and have a talk with them, and then the MP just like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, that's very understandable. And then as soon as they walk out the door, and they're like, what an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, they don't. Generally, people that have time to go to protest after protest after protest generally don't have anything to do, so they're not really busy.
Right.
And so they don't, put it bluntly, they're not the most smartest people in the world. Because otherwise they'll be busy.
Yeah, true.
Smart people generally, it doesn't matter like what your belief is, that generally people that are busy, whether you're an organizer, all that sort of stuff, generally you're so busy doing something that you don't have time to do everything, unless that's literally your job or what you're doing. But yeah.
Is it just stay busy in lobby or?
No, I mean, like, okay, so usually you got the people that organize a lot of these things and end up growing like an organization. They're the ones that usually end up doing some lobbying, some sort of lobbying or whatever, and they organize protests and stuff like that. Usually they're the ones that are busy and like talking with people and trying to make plans. But the people below them that literally just turn up and thinking they're making a difference, they're the people that will go from protest to protest to protest that don't do anything. They're the people that group of people that I'm talking about. And they also happen to be the biggest loudmouths in group. And they're the people that I'm more referring to. Because the people behind the scenes are the ones actually trying to make change. So I'm only talking about the people at the bottom. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and you get that in anything and everything. It doesn't matter what it is. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's just my opinion. It's not necessarily right or wrong, but it's just
Fair
it's
enough.
it's just experience of just seeing the couple of protests and just that I've seen people do. Just I just think coming up with solutions is better than just jumping up and down yelling.
That is true.
You know. But yeah, it's really funny. Before this podcast started, Spliffy,
Yeah.
Twitch told me that my drivers for my graphics card aren't supported.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's really weird because it's running smoothly at the moment. I've got the software running up and it's like running at 60 frames without any issues. So I don't know what it's.
I think Twitch is having a moment.
I think Twitch is wrong.
Yeah, I think Twitch is having a moment.
Did you you didn't watch the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, did you?
No, I don't care.
I'm glad that you didn't watch it. It was a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't. The hype was
too much.
Like the hype was cool and all that sort of stuff, and then you explained to me yesterday what happened, and I thought, well, first of all, I'm not really surprised, and second of all, it's like, well, at that point, I really don't care because everyone knew that Mike Tyson should have won.
Yeah, well, so I went in knowing that this was going to be rigged. Okay, if you didn't think that this wasn't a rigged match, that the ending wasn't already decided and each round wasn't scripted, then I'm sorry, but you are talking about the Paul brothers here. Everything they do, there is a angle to it. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's filming dead bodies in fucking forests or scamming people out of some made up cryptocurrency or scamming people to buy Pokemon cards to increase the value of your own. Everything they do has an angle that benefits them. This was a way to get someone big named, like he's been doing it this whole time for these whole boxing matches. His only one loss is because he's been selecting who he fights with, and it wouldn't even surprise me if they've been rigged as well from the get-go. I didn't watch the fight, so I wouldn't know, don't care, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were rigged anyway. And then maybe that one guy that he did lose to had the option of, if you lose, you get this amount of money, and if you win, you get this amount of money. And he probably was like, no, I don't want to lose to you, so he probably just won.
Just went for it.
Yeah. But either way, there was honestly there was something set in motion from the beginning. But he's not a boxer. He's a entertainer, and that's fine.
It is true.
that is fine. Like, he's clickbaity, he's controversial. They both are. They do it for the money, they do it for the name, the fame, everything. Fine, whatever. It's your stick. I don't know why people give the money, but they do. But it's not my choice. But what I found disappointing was, if you're going to set up a fight like this and then you put so much emphasis on the scale that it's going to be, you know, Jake Paul versus the Iron Mike, make it entertaining, because that wasn't entertaining. He literally just like danced. And then he won by points. And they're like, oh, he won because, you know, he got more points than Mike did. I reckon I saw maybe two punches in the whole 8 rounds that actually looked like they landed on Mike. And they did not hurt him. So...
Yeah, imagine going through all that training just for that.
Yeah, and Mike held back a lot, and that's why I knew it was rigged, because there was a bit where like Jake's like doing this, and there was an opening like say here, and you see Mike, and then he just bit his glove. Like, you could see every time he was just like, oh, and then bite his glove to try and sort of like de-stress himself, because you can tell that he still has a fight in him. He still wants to fight, but he's like, money,
Yeah.
money, which I don't have a problem with. Like, it's fine. He wins. In my eyes, he still wins. He wins a lot of money. He would have got more of a payout than he ever would his entire boxing career in that one match, that one 8-round match. It would have been easy money for him. But what I couldn't get over is at the end, when the round ended, like, Mike was still like, he was sweating and whatnot, because, you know, they were working out. They weren't like not doing anything. And, you know, Mike's all sweating and he's just like, yeah. Like, you can see the smile on his face. He was enjoying it. He was having fun. And Jake was just like, like really fucked. Like, and he was, whole body was like showing signs of fatigue. His arms and muscles were shaking convulsively. Like, I don't think he would have been able to continue the fight, but Mike very much would have been able to continue fighting. I think Mike would have probably, if it was not rigged or any of that stuff, I think Mike would have kept going and actually would have tired Jake out, I reckon.
Yeah,
I reckon
but by the
Mike's
sounds of
stamina
it.
is more than Jake is, even at 58 years old.
He still looks like a really fit guy.
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he
he
still
is.
looks really
Yeah.
bloody fit.
Did
And
you watch his training video when he hit his fucking trainer?
yeah, I watched a couple of
He
them,
knocked his
a couple of
trainer
short
out.
clips. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
That's how, like,
Yeah.
you could tell he was holding back, because he wouldn't have hit.
He would have
as hard as
absolutely
he's-
killed Jake.
He would have, yeah. And then at the end, I love it. They're like, "Who do you want to fight next, Mike?" And he's like, "Oh, Logan." And then Logan just like, "I'll fucking kill you." And it's
No.
like, oh my fucking god, don't you dare!
No.
Like, it's all a show. Like, we all know it's a show, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like looking at
Uh.
Jake, and Jake's fucking like swole. Like, Jake's massive now. And Logan is not nowhere near at Jake's level. And I'm like thinking, you're just saying that to Mike? Like, Jake has a chance. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a fucking fit dude. He's massive now. But Logan is not nowhere near the size that Jake is. Like, if there was a fight between Jake and Logan, Jake will win. Hands
Yeah, right.
down.
That's what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, he's massive. But anyway, it was a pathetic fight. It wasn't entertaining enough. They should have done something. Fuck, someone's going to throw in a chair in there and turn it a little bit of WWE or some shit like.
Just impromptu WWE.
Or even if they fucking paid the Raka Raka boys to come in there with Ron McDonald, like, that'd be more fucking fun. Just have Ron McDonald fucking tag in. Make it a 3-way battle between fucking Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and Ronald McDonald. Like, that would have been fucking hilarious. Imagine that. Oh, that would be funny as. What about like? Nah, he couldn't do that. Like, if Jake or Logan wanted to like do a wheelman sport where like they could show their strength, they should do the slap fight one. You know, when people
Oh
just
yeah, that
slap
would
each
be
other?
fun.
Yeah, because their skulls would be like fractured.
Yeah.
They'll get fucked up. What a dumb sport. I'm just gonna sit
Yeah.
here and take a full frontal attack to my face.
full
Like,
full
people, oh
slap.
my god. Like,
Yeah,
did you watch that video that Ray sent us?
possibly. Which one was that one?
That was the one where the guy like got slapped and this socket was completely shattered to the point that the eye skin drooped down to here.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm
so
kind
like
of
this
glad I
bit
didn't
here,
by
the
the sounds of
skin
it.
fucking went down here, like in line with
Uh,
their mouth. That's how badly his skull fractured. It's fucking, it was
wow.
just gone. And then it
Yikes.
like went to a meme and it was like some pig man just yelling out some slurs.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really funny. But yeah. Oh, we found this really cool thing, didn't we, Spliffy? I thought we should show this off. Want to take a tour of a Pokemon museum?
Yeah, it's really peculiar.
It is really weird. Let's just check it out. I haven't actually experienced it properly, but Spliffy's
It's
seen
so
a bit of it.
bizarre.
So this is I forgot the name of it. It's that Pokemon up there, and that's a T-Rex skeleton.
I'm pretty sure. Is it a Pokemon or is it a Digimon?
it's a
We're about to make a lot of
it's a
people
Pokemon.
really upset if
It's
we
a
get this
Pokemon.
wrong. It's a Pokemon.
So this is in Tokyo. It's called the Tokyo Pokemon Fossil Museum, and we're taking this virtual tour here with us. Whoa, too far. Anyway, so this is the T-Rex skeleton. Can you zoom? Oh, you can zoom in. It kind of looks a bit. The picture quality that they use for the camera, for the 360 cameras, not great quality, I have to admit. But that's pretty cool. But like, look at the T-Rex teeth, right?
Yeah.
And look at the fucking teeth of the Pokemon. How abnormally stupid that is. It's like the teeth are like actual part of the skull, but these ones are not, I'm inside it.
Yeah, they're actually.
Hell,
It's not like they're. It's
I'm
not like the
stuck.
two different sets of bones as opposed to just being integrated one in another.
Yeah. There's the T-Rex teeth. Now they're worth so much money. Like they're over $1,000 for a T-Rex tooth.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they're really expensive versus Spinosaurus tooth, which I have one. Like a real Spinosaurus tooth.
How much is that worth?
Fuck all, I paid $50 for it.
Hell yeah.
And you know, like this is a Spinosaurus tooth. So that's the tooth that belongs to the world's largest dinosaur, like carnivorous dinosaur. That's so that's from the Kem beds. So like I've got its little verification tag there, if you can zoom in there. So that's that's like $50. And then one of those is like 1,000 or over 1,000.
Is that just because of the T-Rex is just so popular?
Yeah, they're worth more, and there's not that many. Like, there's heaps of Spinosaurus teeth. The Ken beds is literally like full of them. I think.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I'm true on this one, but I think Spinosaurus were kind of like crocodiles in that they shed their teeth, which would probably explain why they have so many. Let's have a little bit explore this museum. Let's go around here. Sometimes the backstage area is just interesting. Look how clean. Like the local museum that from the city that I had was just not this clean. Let's skip the queue. Let's go straight into the. Oh, look at that! It's a Pikachu riding a. I've forgotten the name of it. Aerodactyl. I think that's what it's called. Look at Pikachu. Look how happy he is. It's another T-Rex skull. This is cool. Okay, so that's the.
Actually, while we're on
Pokemon
that,
was
do
out
you
the
have a
front.
favorite dinosaur?
Yeah, I do. My favorite dinosaur is the Utah Raptor. I think it's my favorite.
Okay.
Which is the same raptor that they used in Jurassic Park, but they called it the Velociraptor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they got Pokemon and real fossils in here too. So that picture that's a Velociraptor there. Or it could be a Velociraptor. No, it is. It's Velociraptor, I reckon. Could be wrong, but I reckon it is. Look at that. And see, we got like where you find the fossils in the game. That's cool. Look,
Oh.
and there's a helix fossil, but it looks fake. It looks like it's like that one, but it could be an ammonite. Don't know. That's cool. And then there's the Pokemon version of it. Yeah, I reckon it's fake. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a couple of real fossils in here. Like, that looks real. That's a real ammonite there. And then what's over here? That's funny. I'll talk about that. That's actually a real fish, but it's also a Pokemon. But in real life, it exists as well. So that's an ammonite skeleton fossil there. That's a nautilus fossil. That's cool. They got a cross section of it. Not many people that'll do that. A nautilus. They're the nautilus is a creature. That's what it looks like over there. But the nautilus. Oops. Clicked the wrong thing and I got settings up on Microsoft. The nautilus is the closest related to the ammonite. It's like one of the. They actually coexisted around the same time too, I think, for memory. So the nautilus is that old that it was around when the ammonites were around, which is kind of cool. Look at you, ugly looking thing. Look at his mouth. I love how it's like do not touch. It's like a big plastic thing. It's like, what are you really going to do? So this is like a... Oh, it's definitely not a velociraptor. What is it? See if I can't zoom in closer. It's a little tiny dinosaur. What do we got here? Got some more ammonites. It's a type of snail type one. Got what they're called. It's crazy that we have more fossils from the Mesozoic period than any other period in history.
Mesozoic period was the first one of the periods, right?
Yeah, one of them is when all the sea creatures that were around. But there are more fossils from that period than any other period. And it's because when they died and fall to the bottom, there was these little microbes that kind of encased all the organic matter and fossilized them. That's why. So that's fake fossils of this turtle. Which there were a turtle that was like around that period that was that big. What are you? This looks like real fossils, but it must be real fossils of the a turtle of some sort. I can't read that because of the glare. Cameraman, he didn't do a good job. Anyway. There's a Kabotos, I think it's called. Looks sick. If something like that exists in real life, how scary would that be?
That would actually be terrifying. You know,
It
it's
would
like
be.
an oversized praying mantis.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, they got a horseshoe crab. Oh, look, horseshoe crab fossil. That's cool. Horseshoe crabs are another species that have been around for an incredibly long time, like millions of years.
Yeah, that fossil they that fossil is one that died last week.
Well. What the fuck happened? Oh, look. They don't look like Pokemon. What is that? I am not clicking. Oh, okay, that's what's going on there. Making me dizzy. Oh my god. These look like your dome dinosaurs. So they're based off these Pokemon here, but they're Pachio, fucking whatever you call them. On Jurassic Park.
What, Pachyosaurus?
Yeah, Pachyosaurus. Yeah, I thought they were. Fucking imagine getting headbutted by this fucker. That would like kill you.
It
So
would.
that's a sub-adult, and that's an adult one. There is it. Must be a female because, yeah, because I'd imagine males would have these spines on them.
What makes you think that?
Well, reptiles in general, including dinosaurs, would be sexually dimorphic. And I would imagine the males would have bigger spikes for displaying purposes. There's a big Triceratops skull. Look at the size of them. Their teeth are really expensive as well. That's a fake though, that one. That's pretty cool. This is a really cool little exhibit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's
So
really
this is-
interesting that they 3D modeled the entire thing.
Yeah. So like they got the Pokemon equivalent, and then they have the real one next to it, and
Yeah.
that thing is pretty scary looking. That existed.
I'm pretty sure that's a Pokemon.
No, that's not a Pokemon. That thing did exist. I mean, it's cartoonized, but it did actually exist. There's these little things that are cool. Useless Pokemon, but kind of cool. They're based off these little plants. Look at them. They're basically just like a coral type species. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Look at all the dinosaur fossils and stuff. It's pretty cool how they can put skin on animals that they only get a partial bone construction of.
Yeah, I think what was it? I think it was a Velociraptor claw that was preserved perfectly, like with scales or skin and all.
Yeah.
Which that was interesting.
Alright, I'm going to go in this area here. So that is the Pokemon version of that fish that is over there. What's this? It's Dragonfly. Megalania, I think it. No, not Megalania. It's Megarena. I can't pronounce it properly. Megalania is the giant fucking. That thing is hideous. Who came up with that Pokemon design? So this is literally a living fossil. This creature here. They still exist to this day. This type of species of fish. They live in like West Africa. Because they're a bony fish. Like they have bones in their fins here. But they're really really cool. And that Pokemon over there is based off these things. Which they do. That two species of them still exist to this day. And they're millions and millions of years old. They're very old. Been over a very long time. So been over there. So let's go over here. Off an adventure today. What have we got here? We got... is that a juvenile T-Rex? Is that what that's saying that is? So jaw... That's a fossil jawbone. It's a Megalosaurus. Juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. So that's another really cool thing. They recently found that T-Rexes lived in family groups.
Right. Oh, instead of being solos.
Yeah, well, because T-Rexes would have hunted, but they also would have scavenged as well a lot. So I would consider a T-Rex to be more like a hyena than an apex predator.
Interesting analogy.
No, I seriously reckon they are. Their teeth structure supports that idea that they both carrion as well as a predator. So they would have been very opportunistic hunters, I reckon. And it wouldn't even surprise me if they do hunt in groups when they hunt. But they're very, like, they have the strongest jaw pressure of any known animal in existence.
All right.
So you would not, like, this skull would crush a car. That's how much force they have in them. versus the lower bottom jaw of a Megalosaurus, which I don't know if you can kind of see, but see how thin the jaw is? It kind of more resembles a juvenile T-Rex before it becomes an adult.
Yeah.
So it's a real thin jaw, and the teeth are very, like, they're a little bit thinner with serrations on them versus a T-Rex, which they still have slight serrations on them, but see how they're more conical? And conical is usually the tooth for strength. Usually that's breaking bone, where the Megalosaurus is a predator that is designed for slicing flesh. So I would hypothesize that the Megalosaurus, just on that, and a lot of paleontologists have concluded with this, and I'm going off their information, but that these guys were active predators, which means they're like your lions and whatnot, which actively hunt. Where these guys, they would hunt, but they would eat everything. Bones, meat, fat, guts, you name it, they will eat it because their teeth literally are designed for it. They're designed with strength. Like, look how big that base is versus that base there, which is pretty thin, really. So that's a fragile tooth, not designed for breaking bone. They're designed for shearing off bone and flesh and everything in it. And plus, you can see here. I mean, I don't think this isn't a real fossil. I reckon it's a cast, but the cast still can show. But you can see here, like, where the muscle attachments are on. Like, you can see all the marks where the muscles attached. Like, that's a big fucking jaw.
Yeah.
Like, one bite from that, you would be minced. There'd be nothing left. So, it's a little bit of amber there. I've got some amber as well. It's another one of those little fossils there. There's
I'm actually looking at the back of the T-Rex skull. It's kind of surprisingly asymmetrical.
It is. Another cool thing about the T-Rex skull is, if we go back here, kind of see if I can. We'll go back to the skull out here. It's probably the best. Let's see if I can. I wonder if I can go up here. Can I go upstairs? No, I can't.
No, you can't.
T-Rexes have binocular vision. Can't really see it, but if you were to look dead on to a T-Rex skull, like front on, both its eyes would be looking at you. I wish you could see it in this one here. You kind of can't go near the wall, but like, yeah, if you were to look on front on, like you're facing its nose, its eye sockets there, its eyes would be looking directly at you. They have binocular vision. So they would have amazing eyesight. Versus Jurassic Park. His vision's based on movement. No.
Yeah.
He would very much see you and eat you. He'd be looking right at you. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It was a little fun adventure in Tokyo, Japan. Definitely would love to go check that out in person.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, on that note, I think we should move on and find someone to raid into.
No worries then.
Who have we got who's live at the moment? No one, really? I'm just having a look-sees. Oh, we can invite raid into this dude. He's full of energy. Let's do that. All right, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and others. I hope you had fun watching this very sort of all over the place podcast as per usual. I hope you have a good night and day, depending on the world, and we will see you next week.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.